All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakar giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, whom taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the four corners who are enduring in both truth and in sincerity, all the men and women who follow. It's brother Kratazah from the Fountain of Living Waters, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. This lesson being entitled Fallout from the Super Bowl. So, we all know that Bad Bunny performed at halftime at the Super Bowl, and it's very polarizing. You have a lot of Jake who enjoyed it. You have a lot of Jake that didn't enjoy it. You have a lot of so-called white people, so-called Edomites who despised it. you know, there's a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions on the actual show itself, and just having someone who's you know Latino, they had a problem with having a Latino, perform the halftime show, which Puerto Rico is a part of America. Let me see, when was the annexation of Puerto Rico? Give me a second here. There we go. So Puerto Rico was annexed by the United States in 1898 following the Spanish American War. U.S. forces invaded the island on July 25th of 1898 and officially took control on October 18th, 1898. So for over 125 years, that's what, like 128 years, Puerto Rico has been part of America. But, you know, Ephraimites, saying, like Bad Bunny, so on and so forth, you know, especially in this economy or in this climate of this country right now, with everything that's going on, them frozen water boys, with the MAGA people, you know, everything is just is like I said, polarizing is putting it easy, but it's a lot of hate going on. And I'm actually going to start with since we're talking about the Super Bowl, let's just start with Esau Edom because their hate is a forever hatred. You know what I mean? So while Bad Bunny was performing, they actually had an alternative Super Bowl performance with Kid Rock. And I was at a little get together, and somebody kept saying, Kid Rock this and Kid Rock that. You know what I'm saying? Kid Rock ain't had a hit in 27 years. Blah, 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 blah. And I didn't know, what the conversation was about Kid Rock. But, this is what it is. So this is from the Huffington Post. And, it's dated February 8th. So this is from last night. Right now being Monday, February 9th. So it says, Kid Rock falls flat in a painfully long turning point Super Bowl halftime show. The MAGA oriented All American halftime show was no match for the NFL's main event with global superstar Bad Bunny. Right? So you had these MAGA people putting on an alternative show with Kid Rock for the All American halftime show, which we just went over. Bad Bunny is an American. He's Puerto Rican, which is a part of America. And you had Jake Paul come out and say some BS. Let's see if we can get his uh what he said. Um let's see. Says purposely turning off the halftime show. Let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences, uh, which equals viewership for them. You are their benefit. Realize that you have power. Turn this off at halftime. A fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. But Jake Paul lives in Puerto Rico. He was born in Puerto Rico. They're both America. But he just hates America that looks like this, you know. But strangely, his brother, uh, um, Logan Paul, he wasn't selling that bullshit that Jake was talking about, which I would have thought it would have been the other way around. But you know, uh, this guy Bad Bunny, he has a relationship with the WWE, and Logan Paul being a wrestler, he probably wants to save that relationship, But he said something else to see if they got it. Um. But yeah, more people watch this Super Bowl halftime show than any other show before. More than last year, which broke the record, even more than Michael Jackson when Michael Jackson did it, because everything that's going on with the Frozen Water Boys, and people that look like this, So he even said that he wasn't going to have a concert here in America because he didn't want the Frozen Water Boys to show up to it. So let's get back to Kid Rock, right? Who ain't had a hit since Ball with the Ball to Bang to Bang. It says that the All American halftime show flopped in its bid to overshadow Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. See if we got any. I'll put a link in the description. But so it says Kid Rock, a pal of President Donald Trump, then took the stage and launched into his song "Ball with the Ball." The pyrotechnics lit the stage while the American flag unfurled behind him. Typical. My name is Kid. He shouted the moments before he began to jump around the stage in a pair of jorts. That's fucking embarrassing. It says after a bizarrely placed classical music interlude, Kid Rock returns wearing a new outfit, carrying an acoustic guitar, and performed a cover of Cody Johnson's "Till You Can't" in a tribute to Kurt. So just basically there was no salt, no salt, no seasoning in the program, and I said that for a reason. There's no flavor. It had no flavor. That's why it fell flat. All right. And Bad Bunny had a little Bad Bunnies hopping around that joint, if you know what I mean. Had some Bad Bunnies around that bed. But let's get to the other part of this, because Jake was tripping as well. All right. You had a lot of Jake, they got that stance that, this not our fight. Why, who cares about, if they coming for, Latinos? Well, I'm not saying go protest. That's not what I'm saying. That's not our job to protest. Our job is to push the word. But you do have to recognize that when they come for one, they're coming for all of us. They're not just coming for, people that look like Bad Bunny. They're coming for Jamaicans and Haitians and shit, Gadites, Native Americans, you know, hey, they're gonna start coming for anybody who don't look like Jake Paul. How about that? You know? But just Jake saying ignorant things, you know. So got this guy here on social media. Um and this isn't his actual picture. This is like a picture that somebody made of him. Like that's how deep it was. Somebody made this guy a meme and put that on there. But it says Mexicans need to apologize for this trash halftime show. Why not use a black artist? And I'm not gonna go through all of these different comments because you can see it's 146 of them. But number one, Bad Bunny is not Mexican. Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. That's just like the ignorance of Jake. You know what I'm saying? That's like how white people say all niggas look alike. He's basically saying all Latinos look alike. You know, and not caring that somebody is from here or from there, or you know, painting everybody with a wide brush. But this is just the ignorance of niggas. You know, and you have, you know, this chick right here. She looks black, but she's actually, you know, she's a Latino. You know, from San Luis Potosi. I don't know. I think that's Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, okay, that's Mexico. That's in north central Mexico. So she's actually Mexican. You know, she don't look Mexican. You know, but you know she might be Jay. Her dad might be black. You know, black and brown relations is good around here if you know what I'm talking about. But it's just a lot of that. You know, and just a lot of ignorant shit going on, and um because people is really what's happening here is people are victim of the curses, man. And this is why 2/3 have to go. This is why America has to be destroyed. This is why we need a reset because a nigga like this won't get it. Can't get it that we are the same people. Can't get it, you know, according to, let's get this Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. And this nigga right here, he has an evil eye towards our Latino brothers. You can tell. Why not use a black artist? Well, they don't use a black artist every year. He ain't say this shit when Bon Jovi was at the Super Bowl. You know, she said Kendrick was on there last year and didn't nobody hate. Soon as y'all not the not the topic, once y'all get to crying. Well, as soon as y'all not the topic once, y'all get to crying, and they wasn't even Mexicans, but definitely made sure to show the fuck out, to show the fuck out of y'all culture in the performance. And she has a point because during the performance, you know, you could really relate to it, you know. Um all the plants in the background, and he had you when the performance started, you know, he was walking like through like a plantation, and it really just brought you. Oh, I'm getting kind of choked up even talking about it because it was very powerful. You know, it had some gay shit. You know, they're gonna put some gay shit in there, but the overall message, you know, how it how it took our people to struggle to get to where we're at. And I'm not trying to say like we ain't in the kingdom, so we ain't where we need to be, but lives are lost. You know, people we were slaves, and not just niggas here in America, Negroes here in America, but all throughout Central and South America as well. The Caribbeans. Let's get that. So, what countries were in the transatlantic slave trade? What countries were the transatlantic slaves delivered? Approximately 10 to 12.5 million enslaved Africans were forcibly transported across the Atlantic, with the vast majority delivered to Brazil, right? Roughly 45%. In the Caribbean, 37%. So that leaves a minority percentage left that were brought to America. The majority of them landed in South America. So how you gonna be mad at people or of Afro Latino descent, what they call it, you know? And we're all pretty much the same fucking people, man. We are, ain't no pretty much about it, man. We are the children of Israel. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get that. We are the children. Yep, here we go. This is Romans 8 and 16. It says, the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if his children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so it be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. That's why we had to, be in those fields. All right, whether it was the tobacco fields here in America or the cotton fields, the sugar fields, in Louisiana and in Jamaica and down there in the Dominican Republic and Haiti, all the way to Mexico and Central and South America, man. We were all slaves. We were all beat down. We were all had our names changed, had our identities stolen from us. And a nigga want to get mad at Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. The scripture, Ezekiel 37 and 16 says, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and the children of Israel and his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, for all the house of Israel and his companions, and join them one to another unto one stick, that they shall become one in thine hand. So we all gonna get together, all right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi gonna get together. I said Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Fuck yeah. Judah, the Negro tribes are gonna get together with Israel, the Latin and Native American tribes. We're all gonna come together. All right. That's really all I really wanted to get with this. I am going to get this last scripture, going back to what I said, that uh, Esau, they fell flat. Jacob had that fire going, and even though you got weird niggas like this hating, one way that you can tell that we're all the same is because, like I said, we got that salt, man. We got that sauce. Matthew 5 and 13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? Is it henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and be trodden down under the foot of men? Right. So the whole purpose of salt is to bring flavor to your food. And if the salt that you're using doesn't bring flavor to the food, what the fuck is the point of using it? You might as well just throw it away and stop it out, or spit it out. There's no purpose for it. So us being Israelites who are the salt of the earth, who gives the world flavor, if we don't have that flavor, we might as well, we're just like the other nations. But that's what set us apart. That's why the other nations are flocking to us. That's why they love us at the Super Bowl. That's why when we do this, everybody watches. Nobody trying to watch no fucking Bon Jovi, goddamn Kid Rock. They want Michael Jackson. They want Bad Bunny. They want Kendrick Lamar. The world, Chico, and everyone in it. That's all I'm gonna give it this. Lord's word is edifying. And we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS whom taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the four corners who are enduring in both truth and in sincerity of the men and women who follow. Shalom.